Get ready for some great music and great stories. Band in Seattle starts right now. Welcome to Band in Seattle. I'm Xander Denke, and with me is Abby Williamson, writer, photographer, and creator of a successful YouTube channel and blog, to talk about tonight's bands, Fysah and Vox Mod.
What do you get when you take a soul pop singer and give her an acoustic guitar? You get Fysah. Singing and performing since the age of 9 in various bands and projects, Fysah has made a space all her own in the Seattle music scene and beyond.
You don't want to miss it. We'll be right back with Fysah.
If Amy Winehouse and Adele had a black baby, that would be me.
You took a piece of me and packed it away in your suitcase, followed by a trail of tears as you walked away. You had so many dreams, you could never stay.
As far as I can remember, I just always wanted to sing. I came out of a group called Black Cherry Crush, and I released an EP with them, and then I started trying to focus more on my solo music. I was kind of keeping my eyes out for different artists that I saw or heard and I thought would be a good fit for what I was trying to do.
That old wicked song, if it had its way, we'd never be the same. If push came to shove, if it came down to love, yeah, who I'd be rooting for. Worlds apart, but still have my heart. I will wait for eternity. That sun, let it have its way, is what we can say.
Art, who's the keyboard player, we've worked together on several projects and we've known each other for a really long time. I knew I wanted him to be a part of the group that I was in.
I never really played out, never done any of that. I kind of grew up in the church, and so that was a no-no. You know, you don't play out in the streets, you don't do that type of stuff. And I always would wonder, like, why? And that music just kept drawing me, and so I really wanted to just play regardless.
Oh, it sets fire rising. Oh, I can't look up at the sun without you in my arms.
For teenage males who were looking for energy out of their music, there was metal and punk for most of the kids I knew, but for whatever reason I responded to funk, and as I grew up, that mellowed out into soul and jazz.
My mom plays piano and sings. She prayed and asked God that her first son would be born a drummer.
After singing with so many bands, I felt like I was limited with my writing ability, that I couldn't play an instrument. I was kind of subject to other artists and their interpretation of what I really had in my mind of what the music was supposed to sound like. So I picked up the guitar and I started learning how to play. I think it was the best decision I made in my career to actually just keep developing as an artist. Now, my next one, I'm going to play the piano and I'm just gonna keep learning a bunch of instruments. I'm excited to learn so much more.
Running from my love, running from my love, and I never planned to stay. You keep running away, running from my love, running from my love, and I never planned to stay.
Running away is tragic and painful for me because it's about the kind of love that you can't make stay.
For me, it's saying, you know, here's a bunch of love that I have to give. And a lot of people, I believe they're afraid to be emotional or to show love.
You keep running from me,
I don't even know where to start. All signs were not saying this is what you're supposed to do.
I can feel the music, my body leads into a heat wave, a commotion with the start of people moving. My hips began to sway, my heart began to race, how my body's fast action became a chain reaction. People started moving, no mind to the rhythm. I could try to explain it, no one will believe me. Freedom in the way, arms began to sway, so I'll be taking every piece of this body and just moving it so.
Everybody else in the world expects you to do one thing. You have to follow your dream and your passion. The biggest challenge is sticking to that. There's so many things that come in and try to change your mind or change your direction. I was almost fighting what I knew I was supposed to do. It's like, okay, maybe I just need to be real with myself and come to terms with the fact that this is what I'm supposed to do, regardless of what end it comes to.
Free, so free, pay no mind to how you move, just fall into your groove, close your eyes and come with me, and let's ride off the beat, my body leans, just come on and rock with me, we can lose our tradition, say, rhythm and go.
Like jazz was my, okay, I can write a happy song too. So that's what that was about. I wanted something that was fun and danceable.
The recorded version sounds different from the version that we actually played in the studio. Fysah loves to rewrite her songs, even though they're set a certain way on the recording, and that's what makes these songs so much fun.
Always wanting more, I never sleep, so scared to chase my greatest dream. Understand it's my music. We could do this, but you take a back seat to where I need to be. Try and understand it's my music, yeah.
Fysah's style, I think it's a little R&B mixed with some indie rock. She likes a lot of the loop-based beats, which I have to emulate, so that brings the R&B side.
And I think one angle that she's trying to bring into it is a touch of folk.
I would say it's heavily rooted in soul.
I had this man, he slowed me down. He wanted time that I didn't have, swept me off my feet, then he put me down. As you can see, he ain't around. When people tear you down, keep your head up, stand your ground. Tell the ones that love you, keep around. They'll keep your head out of the clouds. You can ride or you can stay. Oh, but this train is on its way. Come and take a seat, buckle in, enjoy the ride.
Playing in the soul scene, you get used to what you expect out of a Seattle crowd, and there's enough people in Seattle that respond to it that you can get a good showing.
You have to gauge your audience and gauge their energy and reflect that energy, or try to change that energy to where you can get a more fun experience for everybody.
Soul music is more of a niche, and the amount of effort that it takes to get noticed in a scene like this is a considerable amount more.
My music is really about everything else going into the back seat, everything else going onto the back burner, and really following your dream. And whatever your music is, it's not literally about music, it's about your passion. Making that a priority above all other things that might come in to try to deter you from that.
Vox Mod's brand of electronic music is the rare kind that sounds like both bathing in sunshine and getting lost in the middle of space at the same time. Soul producer, musician, futurist Scott Porter has accumulated an impressive collection of albums and EPs over the last couple of years, as well as taking his music all the way to the Iceland Airwaves Music Festival in 2014.
We'll be right back with Vox Mod.
My name is Vox Mod. I'm an electronic musician from Seattle, and I'm also a designer/illustrator. I've toyed with the idea of getting rid of my birth name and going by Vox Mod. Vox Mod has pretty much supplanted my real name, and I actually do prefer to go by Vox. Ever since I started as Vox Mod, I've been trying to fuse my different inspiration worlds together. I knew that in some way they all connected. My visual inspirations, they somehow were intermeshed with the music artists that I was inspired by. That gave me more motivation to take my art and fuse it with my music, and fuse the idea that permeates through my art and my music. And that idea is that there doesn't necessarily have to be a distinct meaning. It can kind of be a wonderment, I know that's not a word, but I'm gonna make that up, a wonderment of thought. Something where you're struck by this notion of aesthetics and beauty that you can't describe, and it doesn't need to be described. It can be its own entity, it could be its own being.
When I first started working with Vox Mod, he had some really great sketches, and his body is like covered with his sketch work and tattoos. And so I thought it would be really fun to explore that in an interesting way and take that and also really bring 3 dimensions into my work. A lot of the work I had done up to then was kind of like limited to a flat surface, and so I wanted to start really experimenting with 3 dimensions. The intention is to allow images to form for people. I have designed it in such a way that I can sort of like fly through the landscape of the forms that are in front of me. And while that can conjure up images of mountains and trees and forests, it's really completely abstract. It's whatever you see in it.
I like the idea of having amorphous objects that you could hear my music and somehow you get a notion of how that ties with these designs. That there's some structure there, but there is chaos, and they work in perfect balance with each other. The title Wild for that song is perfect. That song, for a long time, I've been writing. It may not actually be done yet. It feels elusive. It feels like a wild, kinetic ride. The combination of the music, Ben's visuals, the visuals that I provide through costume as being an access point to another energy, a gateway, a portal to another world. A lot of my music is dictated and comes to describe my experiences through hallucinogenics and reaching other places that people don't see or hear in this reality.
We'll be right back with more of Vox Mod.
This is what I do, no matter what capacity, whether it's on the road and I get to share it with other people, or whether it stays in my bedroom, I'm going to be doing music.
Now I can almost taste it. I almost laugh, almost kick this daydream. Collective thinking on masses. Give my focus back on you. And I don't need the candy. Got my lovely world where you are my lady. And we're up on Rose of Mary, dear. With sober eyes, keep still.
I would describe Vox Mod as otherworldly space music. His music is just like him, just totally far out and amazing. Scott already had the title Fly to Fancy, so I tried to write around that.
With the combination of Irene's vocals and the lyricism that she created, she took it to a place of which that I would not have been able to finish the song without her contributing her portion.
To me, the song is about technology and our love affair, and also our battle with it.
I get goosebumps just now thinking about it.
This place ain't got no cliche. All the spells are cast. Let's get syncopated. We're walking off the beaten path. Walking off hand in hand.
It's a deep song for me. It goes deep into my consciousness. It makes me think of another place, like of daydreaming or being transported to another world. I mean, that's something that I just can't apparently seem to say enough of about my music and what I want to feel in this life, in this experience of being a human being.
Nikita's your high True love came quick in life, faded too fast. Can you hear my voice coming from an unknown place now?
Eric and I have this excellent relationship. He and I drive each other. He and I push each other to new limits and to new ideas of lush sounds that give us goosebumps.
The way anybody creates, I think, is a mystery even to themselves. We all just have these things come through us. Vox Mod's no different. It just comes out of him. I'm happy to be around to catch it and help shape it, but it's purely his inspiration and his talent that brings it forth.
When the sound is rich enough and the lights are flashing in my face and I can't see the audience, I get stuck in that trance-like meditative state. I feel free. And it's a really particular notion. It's a really particular experience. It's a release, and it's also sharing energy with people.
Don't
think I'd like to dispel a lot of things that are taboo or things that will push the status quo or the generalizations of what people think. It's kind of crazy how much people want to be independent, but they'll group together on things and bash other groups of people for certain ideas when you should be much more open. I really want to dispel and disrupt and break a lot of generalizations and descriptions and definitions, genre. All those things I want to crumble to the ground.
Well, that's it for tonight's Band in Seattle. If you want to hear more, check us out on bandinseattle.com, where you can hear full concerts and find links for more information about our bands and where they're playing next.
And to stay up with the latest on the band scene, check out my YouTube channel at Abers07.
Thanks for watching. Join us next week for more great music and great stories on Band in Seattle.